Hey guys, and welcome to my new series here. I'm going to be teaching you guys C++ programming. Now, C++ is an object-oriented programming language, and a lot of its syntax is derived from C. It is an amazing language, and honestly, if you're coming right here from a Java, you're going to enjoy this language as much as you're enjoying Java, and it's a lot of fun. Let me tell you, this is definitely one of my favorite languages to program with, and I'm going to be using here Microsoft Visual Studio. And exactly what is Microsoft Visual Studio? A lot of people call it Visual Studios, and this is an IDE, otherwise known as an integrated development environment, and you're going to be needing one of these IDEs to program C++ with. Now, here's a couple I recommend here. If you're on Mac, I recommend using Eclipse. I believe there is Visual Studios on there, but I highly recommend Eclipse. It is nice, easy to use, and you can program Java on it. And if you're using a Windows computer like me, I recommend using Visual Studios here. It's amazing. There's a lot you can do with it, and I highly recommend this IDE. So nonetheless, let's just jump right into it. I'm hoping that you guys have it downloaded. You picked your IDE and such, and let's get the show on the road. So first thing you should do is you could either go to empty project right here, which is C++. Otherwise, you go to File, New, Project. Then you want to click on Visual C++, and then click on empty project. And we're going to call this one console printing. Okay, that is what we're going to call it. You can call it whatever you want, and then press OK. Alright, so now you should be brought to a gray screen like this, which is really nice, and nothing's going to load. You're going to be kind of confused. So what you want to do is go to project, then you want to go down into add item. Click on that and make sure you have a .cpp selected, and we're going to call this one main. A lot of programmers will call their main method main. So this is their main file, okay? And to make sure you did it right, it should be in the upper left here, main.cpp, and the name of your project. If it doesn't have it there, just press the X here and re-go through the project, add item, okay? That's what you want to do. So now, there might be other ways of adding stuff. This is the way I've been doing it. So first thing you want to do when creating your main.cpp class, you want to do is hashtag here, or shift 3, and type in include. Alright, and then you want to do the less than and equal, the less than sign, and it should automatically give you the greater than sign, and then inside you want to put an IO stream. Basically what this IO stream take care of is the input output stream. That's really the big stuff for it. I'm going to skip a line here, I'll go back to it, and what we're going to do here is type in int main, and then you want to give some parentheses there, and then enter down and put some braces in there, okay? So I'll explain exactly what that means, but let's just, for now, just know it's main. And no matter what you named your class, put main here, okay? Put main there. Next thing you want to do is type in std : c out, okay? And then 2 less than signs. And then we're going to put a string here, otherwise known as a word with quotation marks around it. And we're going to put hello world exclamation point. Then you want to end your line in a semicolon. All lines end in semicolons. Get used to that, okay? And then after that, you want to enter down and type in return 0. All right, so then you want to save this, and that's everything you need for now, right? I'm going to run this. I'm going to show you what happens if you're on Visual Studios. So you want to press right here this local Windows debugger, and it will run the program for you. Did you see what happened there? It was lickety split, too quick. So it's kind of hard to read on that. So what you need to do is you need to add in another line here. So you want to type in system, and then in parentheses, you want to add a string called pause. I'm going to put it in all caps. I'm not sure if you need to. I'm going to put it in all caps. And what this is going to do, if you're running on Visual Studios, it's going to pause your console right here. And then you're able to see what just printed, right? So it says, hello world, press any key to continue. And when I press a key, it's going to close that terminal. So one thing I'm noticing here is that all of this is on one line. It's kind of hard to tell what I printed, right? So let's go and fix that. So on line 6 here, we have std : c out, and then these 2 less than signs, and then our string that just got printed. Okay, so let's go read this code really quick. Std is standard. We're calling the standard library, and we're using a method of it, or a function of c out. Okay, this is how you output to a screen, right? You're trying to do output, so c out. And this is the screen that we're doing. So if you don't add anything afterwards, it's going to keep it all on the same line. If you're familiar with Java syntax, it's like the system.out.print, right? That's what this is like. So if we want to make it like the system.out.print line or the new line type method, you want to add in another 2 less than signs and then type in std because we're calling the standard, and then double colon again, and then you want to put in an endl or an end line is what they call it. Okay, so after you have that there, now it should be all good. Save up your file again and press F5 or the local Windows debugger, and you're going to notice that it is now on the second line, right? Press any key to continue is below it, and you can see exactly what you printed above. Hope you guys are having fun so far. I'm having a lot of fun. So this is how I recommend printing to the screen. This is probably the best way of doing it. I'm going to show you one more way, so don't leave yet. One more way of what this is. A lot of good programmers and experienced programmers don't like people programming like this, but I'm going to show it to you anyway so you are familiar with the other way. So right below the include IO stream, I said I skipped this earlier. We're going to do using namespace std, and then we're going to put a colon there, okay? So if I were to save this and run it, everything's going to look the same, right? Everything's going to look the exact same. But here's the thing. When you type in using namespace std, you can remove the std and the 2 colons. You can remove that on both of them. So you might be able to write code a little bit faster. And when you save it and run it, it's going to be the same output. So what exactly did I just do here? So adding this namespace here, using this namespace, it automatically is going to put this std : in front of any type of method or function that is in that same namespace scope. However, a lot of experienced programmers look down upon it because it gets harder to read code once you are doing some big projects. But since we're doing some small stuff, it's not that bad of an idea, but I highly recommend getting into a habit of without using this namespace. It's a lot better to fully write out the entire library so you can see exactly where everything is coming from. So I'm going to go really quickly and explain all of this code line by line so you are familiar with everything. We're going to do a quick rundown and that will recap everything, and I'll give you a challenge, all right? So line 1, we're doing include IO stream. This is including the input output stream and allows us to run this as we can. And then on line 3, we're using the namespace. You don't have to include this if you don't want to. Line 5, this is saying int main, right? So this int is the return type. It's all right if you don't know what an int is yet, but I'll get into that. And it's all right if you don't know what the return type is. And this is the main function. Then we're printing hello world out to the screen by doing a cout, and you could be using std : in front of this. And this is printing hello world out to the screen. And we're using system pause only on Visual Studios because of that little closing screen, right? If you're on Eclipse or anything like that, you do not need this line here. So it is all right. So you can actually use a comment like this. If you're using double forward slashes like in Java, you can make this as a comment line. For Visual Studios. That's what I'm going to put in front of it, okay? And this return 0 matches the return type up here, right? 0 is an integer. I'll get into that in the next episode of what all the ints and strings and cool jazz like that is all about. So that's a little bit of how you write to the screen. Now before you go, let me go give you a coding challenge, all right? So I'm going to go paste it right here. All right, so this is your little challenge here. You're going to put my name is, and then you're going to insert your name here, and I am learning to write C++. All right, so that is your coding challenge. Print that out to the screen, bring it to the next episode, and I'll see you guys then. Have a good one.